make you a perfect you. Just select your desired physical appearance and you'll wake up in your new body in less than 24 hours, just in time for the sunrise. Welcome to our institution. We'll make you a perfect you. Just select your desired physical appearance and you'll wake up in your new body in less than 24 hours, just in time for the sunrise.
I had seen the advertisement everywhere. Social media had spread its message across the world. A new program to make everyone perfect, to end body dysmorphia and effectively unify our minds and bodies. We would all be one with ourselves, with perfect anatomies. No split personalities, no anorexia. Just you, a perfect you. For all my life I've wanted a new body. Too much fat here, too many ribs there. I've always felt like a clay sculpture knocked off a desk. Perfect You was enticing. It was brilliant. So I registered with the program and activated my free trial.
Greetings, and thank you for activating your free trial of Perfect You. This is one small step toward a great leap in your life, to make you the most perfect you. You've made the right decision, and we're so proud of you. Please be patient, we'll be arriving shortly. Leave your window open and unlock your doors. Our personnel will need enough room to drag your body out.
I awoke, standing in the night. In an unfamiliar neighborhood, I watched as cars drifted by like whooshing phantoms on the street. I remembered an old childhood memory. I was 8 or 9 when I saw a woman clothed in 40s attire step out into the night. She began to walk in circles in the middle of the road. Silently, she walked, and I watched for only a few moments more before I dashed back home. For a long time, it was the belief of my young, superstitious mind that she was a wartime ghost, perhaps waiting for a ride to the ball. Yet, here I stood, in unfamiliar clothes, in the thick of the dark. Maybe She was another user of Perfect You, the program that promised the cure to end all cures. A new body in less than 24 hours, just in time for the sunrise. Had it already been a day? Where was the sun? Was the procedure finished or had it ended prematurely? I had the start of the slightest notion I had walked out during the operation. This neighborhood had no indication of Perfect You oversight, but I did feel different. Beneath the lamppost, I felt my new body for the first time. The fresh, long hair, the newly tightened skin, the smooth joints and taut ligaments, brand new lips and polished teeth. At first, I found it hard to speak. My voice had some adjusting to do. I had a feeling that it would take some time before I could claim ownership of this new anatomy. I needed to adjust to this renovated exterior. But what of the interior? Where was I before tonight? What could I remember? What could I remember? The 40s woman from my childhood was the last fully intact memory I had left in my head. Where was the rest of my life up to this moment? Was it repressed and waiting for the right catalyst? Or had my life been left behind in my old body? I walked aimlessly in the night, paralyzed with confusion. The cars kept passing. The night kept going. Where was the sunrise? Deep in my mind, I knew that this would be the greatest challenge of my life, for it would never end.
Leaky faucet? Broken window? Have you lost all your screws? Well, fret no more. At Gein's hardware store, we have everything you need to fix your home. Check out our tapes, glues, glass, light bulbs, doorknobs, lawnmowers, sprinklers, chainsaws, and our wide selection of nails. I know what you might be thinking. You're just like the rest of them. Well, surprise. In the back of our store, we have our very own healthcare center, where our workers specialize in organic recovery. Woof! Oh no, did you accidentally run over Hogan with the lawnmower? Don't worry, bring him over to Gein's hardware store and we'll patch him right up in the back. But you might want to call him Patchy afterwards. Ha ha! Oh no, did your classmate move to another state? No worries, we value emotional well-being just as much as your physical health. So let your teacher know about Gein's hardware store and send your classmate's fingerprints over. We'll be able to clone your friend in less than 24 hours, just in time for the sunrise. Gein's hardware store. Make broken extinct. You're sleeping in bed when suddenly you hear a large tree begin to tip over. You awake in panic, knowing it'll crash into your room. So you attempt to escape through the window, but it is the space just below the window that becomes your resting place. How does one prevent foreseeable harm? Can one always escape? With LOCKLIFE, you can. Through a small surgical implant just below the jaw, you're rendered immune to all forms of danger. How? The LOCKLIFE implant, also known as the nail, produces a strong electrical field that surrounds the user. This field defends the body from any incoming force while inducing a state of paralysis to keep the user calm. To activate the nail, the user must say LOCKLIFE 3 consecutive times with minimal hesitation. Once the threat subsides, the phrase LOCKLIFE must then be repeated 3 additional times for deactivation. If the threat appears to be long-term, your body can remain paralyzed for up to 7 years, after which LOCKLIFE personnel will be sent to your location to ensure your safety. So when the tree falls in your neighborhood, remember, LOCKLIFE, LOCKLIFE, LOCKLIFE. LOCKLIFE, always escape. LOCKLIFE Nails, now available at Gein's hardware store. An analysis of the LOCKLIFE nail. At first glance, the LOCKLIFE nail appears to be a harmless, inanimate device. However, due to the concerns of our friends and family, we've produced a truthful, uncensored analysis of the nail's anatomy. The surface is comprised of a metallic alloy, invulnerable to heat, sound, and blunt force. It also includes small, sharp hairs to ensure that it stays in place under the skin. Below the surface is a myriad of structures, including multiple sets of intestines stretching for most of the nail's length. At its base are a collection of stem cells, as well as a developing fetus. In conclusion, the LOCKLIFE nail is an organism. It can create children of its own, just like you and I. The Yellowman begins in an egg. For 9 months, he incubates in the warmth of decaying organic material. Within the security of a shell, vital organs form, such as the cerebral hair, along with 4 sharp legs that will eventually puncture the protective membrane and fracture the egg, causing a highly flammable amniotic fluid to spill, which then catches fire and ignites an impressive blue flame seen for miles. The amniotic fire attracts thousands of insects, providing the Yellowman with an endless supply of nutrients for his first days of life. Once the flame extinguishes, the Yellowman immediately seeks for larger prey. Using the cerebral hair on top of his head, the Yellowman can detect the brain activity of nearby animals, and to ensure the highest quality meal, the Yellowman preys on those with the most developed prefrontal cortex. Brainwaves emanating from more sophisticated cortexes, such as those from humans and whales, can cause the cerebral hair to vibrate and produce a unique sound that's been described as both beautiful and haunting. As time goes on, the cerebral hair wilts from the constant absorption of brainwaves. To compensate, his ears and limbs grow larger to assist with his hunts. The ears of Yellowman are complex, with over 27 bones inside to process the quietest of sounds, such as heartbeats and blood flow. Once the Yellowman hears a healthy prey item, he'll often sit still for several minutes to strategically plan his attack, thanks to the higher cognition achieved since infancy. While no 2 attacks by Stage 2 Yellowmen are alike, his extending forearms and sharp teeth are most commonly used to dismember prey. As the Yellowman gains weight, his movements become slow and ungainly. The Yellowman's hunts become less successful and are eventually entirely fruitless. The reduced mobility causes the Yellowman to lose his top 2 legs, and in their place, long fibers grow. Like the cerebral hair in Stage 1, the fibers detect and absorb brainwaves from nearby organisms.
Additionally, they send out dangerous signals that disrupt normal cognitive function, inducing a form of hypnosis, including amnesia and complete loss of muscle function. Once an animal is paralyzed, the Yellowman will place his fibers over its body, and for the next 12 hours, the fibers absorb all organic material, leaving the animal as an empty shell of its past self. Unable to move under the weight of his overgrown fibers, the Yellowman becomes completely immobile. He effectively loses his appetite and simply waits for his cognitive energy to be fully depleted. Within his exoskeleton, eggs begin to form from leftover organic material of past meals. Once energy is depleted, the Yellowman lays down, his fibers spread out on the flat, cool earth, and he begins to decay. Kept insulated by the multitude of fibers, the warmth of his decomposition nurtures the eggs and begins the cycle again. The Yellowman organism is found on every continent. In this program, you will be informed of all 4 phases of the Yellowman Syndrome. 1 to 4 days after exposure, the stomach produces excess ghrelin, a hormone that stimulates appetite. As one experiences severe hunger, the pursuit of food can lead to weight gain in excess of 150 pounds. To adjust for the rapid intake of material, the stomach and intestines expand up to 4 times their original diameter. The sudden growth is painful, and the victim will undergo drastic mood swings, cycling between agitation, depression, and mania. The brain attempts to reconcile the unpredictable changes in mood. However, the production of more hormones leads to headaches and heightens feelings of frustration. 4 to 8 days after exposure, pointed hairs begin to grow from the skeleton. The hairs slowly puncture the epidermis, resulting in a sharp pain throughout the body. During this stage, the individual refrains from wearing clothes and sitting down, as contact with the hairs causes substantial pain. The hairs are a sensory adaptation, able to detect external stimuli such as light, sound, and even pheromones. Once they breach the skin, a massive flow of sensory information overloads the brain, resulting in visual and auditory hallucinations. Severe confusion replaces the mood swings of Phase 1. 8 to 12 days after exposure, the skeletal hairs protrude up to 48 inches. Disorientation diminishes as the brain processes the sensory load. As the individual adjusts to the flow of stimuli, they enter a euphoric state. Gradually, the body becomes numb to the growth of the skeletal hairs, and the individual can finally perform day-to-day tasks that were impossible before. Many have reported a sense of optimism and a persistent smile lasting throughout the day and even during sleep. 12 to 16 days after exposure, the skeletal hairs have grown longer than the individual's height. The hairs weigh down the body, and feelings of fatigue overcome the individual. The mind falls into a comatose state. Some studies have detected brain activity similar to REM waves, though eye movement is absent. Muscles and bone begin to liquefy as the hairs obscure the entire body. The ensuing decay releases a dopamine spray into the air that attracts nearby individuals up to a mile away. As they are exposed, they too begin to display symptoms of Phase 1 within 48 hours.
I woke to the sound of my son screaming. I quickly ran to the front yard and found him standing before an animal. It was a buffalo with lots of legs, like some giant cockroach. On the ground was its long black tongue, slowly inching toward our boots. It must have been using its tongue to feel its way around, because it had no eyes. Slowly I walked my son back to his bedroom. When I came back out, the animal was gone. It had left 144 footprints around my house. My son hasn't been the same ever since. He keeps his eyes closed and sticks his tongue out. Every night he draws a picture of the animal. He He calls it the Buffalo Roach.
After the disappearance of renowned photographer William Stix, a formal investigation was launched. Stix's camera was then found near an abandoned gold mine containing this disturbing photograph. The detectives noted that the location was covered in hundreds of buffalo footprints. Although publicly dismissed as a stampede, it appeared that all was the product of only 7 hooves. In 2019, a second photograph was found. Its owner remains anonymous.
Tim Matheson is the award-winning author of over 200 books for kids, including the best-selling I Peek, I Seek series. In his adolescence, Tim developed polymorphia, a condition characterized by the growth of additional limbs. Although his father urged him to seek medical treatment, Tim decided to develop his dexterity and focus on his passion, writing. In an early interview, Tim expressed his enthusiasm, saying, "With these hands, I can do twice as many things, so I have an obligation to do twice as much good in the world. The children need inspiration, and I believe I can provide that through my writing." Early on, he realized that this extra pair of hands enabled him to write much faster than the average person. and by the time he graduated the University of Florida in 1978, Tim had written over 40 books. Unlike other authors, his work utilizes visual stimulation and subliminal imagery to promote brain growth in adolescence. In a controlled study by the PYI, Perfect You initiative, readers of his were shown to have greater levels of spatial awareness. Tim was awarded Man of the Year by the American Psychological Association in 1982 and would later win the Nobel Prize in Literature. In 2011, Tim Mackison was reported missing by friends and family. In the years following his disappearance, authorities received numerous reports of a multi-armed man visiting children's bedrooms, though investigations concluded that the visitations were the product of subliminal imagery in his most recent edition of I Peek, I Seek.
Something unnatural lives in the walls of my house. I hear their footsteps late at night in the space above my room. Sometimes I can hear them walk in circles. Other times their footsteps are fast and chaotic, like a violent prisoner going insane in solitary confinement. Without a doubt, the creature above is intelligent. When the moon is out, bright and full, I think I can hear them whisper to themselves. I never know what exactly they say, but I've never heard anyone else sound so lost and lonely. They went quiet for a few days, and I thought they had finally left permanently. Or maybe they had passed away. But last night, they made the most deafening scream. The next morning, I found they had burst out of the ceiling. I went into my room that afternoon, and I saw it sitting on my bed.
No one can explain my behavior, not even I. My doctors told me to journal my feelings, and now I can't stop. They think there may be parasites in my skull, which accounts for the strange visions I've been having every night. I feel as though there's never enough room to describe my thoughts. I want to stop, and I can't. The parasites look like palm trees. They're waiting for my skull to crack so they can plant themselves into the ground and grow into trees. I see them everywhere, those beautiful fairies. I wish to catch one, yet they fly at such remarkable speed. My killing jar is no match for them. Anything that touches the fairy's wing becomes enchanted, and when consumed, they transport you to the fairy world. Their world is dark and busy. Fairies are most commonly killed in car accidents, and so they seek revenge by trapping the souls of their attackers on the infinite highways they've built. Look closely at the windshields, and you'll make an interesting observation. All the passengers are dead. Recently, I've developed a compulsion to walk backwards. I can't say why, but it's unavoidable. One step leads to another, and another, and another. There is no medical term, though further research revealed that there were a wave of backward walkers in the late 1940s. Physicians attributed the afflictions to the stress of World War II. August of '45 had over 200 cases, the month of Hiroshima. I suppose the stress could be the result of the pandemic, but I can't help but wonder,
When will I begin to move forward? When I walk backwards, I find myself immersed in childhood memories. A sunlit window at 5, wooden chess pieces from a friendly spar, crowds of porcelain gathered throughout the week. Every step, another recollection, another escape to another time. It's begun to plague me. The constant nostalgia has given me a 1,000-yard stare. It's becoming difficult to form any new memories of my own. I can't even recall when this affliction began. A bookshelf after a day's worth of organizing, movie tickets pinned to a wall, a Paleolithic bone collection. No professional treatments exist, though a single letter from the 8th century describes a solution. Interestingly, it also details the cause of my backward walking. The rough translation suggests that I had been visited by a creature while I was asleep. A half-rabbit, half-bird organism, with horns violently extending out of its mouth. The horns must have made contact with my spine, which then triggered the disorder. The solution is peculiar. Tie a rabbit by the leg to a branch, then turn away and let yourself walk backwards. As the rabbit swings, it should recalibrate my motor functions. But I've done this before, hundreds of times. When will I begin to move forward? But I'll only forget the question as the rabbit swings. Large figures have appeared across the southeast. Every night, their breathing grows louder, and it's making everyone nervous. Yesterday, the university released X-ray images of them, revealing a metabolism resembling unstable nuclear reactors. Everyone in my neighborhood evacuated as soon as they heard the news. Except me. I want to see what happens. Tomorrow night the moon will be at its closest all year. I believe the moon's alignment with the crescent heads will release a sort of heat wave. You can already feel it in the air. A pulsating woman from the Crescent Creatures.
Many people share your experience, Eli. Every testimony is consistent, but from what I've gathered, you knew about them before anyone else, so tell me, how did it all begin?
During an evening of fishing, a friend noticed a peculiar cluster of stars, unlike any of the surrounding celestial bodies. They were slowly growing in size, in unison. I'm known as the town's local astronomer, so she notified me of the phenomena that evening, and I immediately sailed out to her position. This was an event I couldn't ignore, but when I arrived at the coordinates she had given me, my friend was absent. Her boat was nowhere in sight.
Did this concern you at all?
I figured she went back to the town to get some rest. After all, it was almost midnight. After I positioned my telescope, I proceeded to examine the star cluster. At first glance, it did appear that they were growing together, but they were also passing by other stars. At this observation, I realized that they weren't growing at all. The stars were slowly falling toward me. I watched for several hours more until they entered the stratosphere, at which they dramatically increased in speed, hurling toward the sea.
Almost like comets. How fast would you say they were going?
I remember that in the span of a single blink, the stars had traveled from the top of clouds to just above the surface of the water, and it was just above the sea that they paused, hovering quietly over the waves. I could see that they weren't stars at all, for organic tendrils dangled from them. I was reminded of a starfish. The largest of the stars then addressed me. Eli, the Crescent King, arrives in 3 cycles. You are his container.
A container? What did you take from that?
I wasn't sure at the time, but I did believe that 3 cycles corresponded to 3 days. Just as I made that connection, the starfish jettisoned back into the sky, causing tremendous waves, knocking me off my boat. The telescope had snagged onto my sleeve, and as it fell, it pulled me to the sea floor, where I saw hundreds of sunken vessels, some of which appeared to be ancient in origin. But most appalling was the boat I found myself slowly landing upon, for it was my missing friend's vessel, and her submerged body laid nearby. I broke loose from the telescope and swam back to shore, where I fell unconscious from the exhaustion.
Do you know of a William Rice or Bert Essex?
I do not.
Well, they also went missing in the vicinity. Do continue.
When I awoke, it appeared that an entire day had passed, and 2 cycles were left before the arrival of the Crescent King. I was afraid. These were beings that were unimaginably faster, larger, and more powerful than myself. Just after this realization, I was violently thrown across the shore and landed behind a large stone. I looked about and realized that I was no longer in my own body. I looked off to where I once stood and found my physical being standing motionless. It appeared that my consciousness was extracted. Invisibly, I hid behind the stone as I watched the translucent shape of a massive creature lightly nudging my figure with its massive limb. It was the Crescent King, but there was still some connection. Some quantum element was left undisturbed during the hijacking of my neural networks. I could hear the Crescent King's thoughts as it explored my brain, testing my mental capabilities. Akin to an individual trying clothes. This ritual abruptly ended, and I was soon sent back into my own body. The momentum at which I was returned knocked me unconscious once more.
Did these periods of unconsciousness contain any further messages?
Not that I recall. When I awoke, another day had passed, and I had 1 cycle left before becoming a despicable container. So I planned to spoil my body, make myself unworthy of any habitation. I ate sand, drank salt water, tore at my skin, all to discourage any hideous progression of events. This only furthered my fatigue and eventually led me to falling unconscious 1 last time. The last thing I recalled was a massive entity falling from the sky and crashing into the sea. The Crescent King had arrived. I don't remember much else.
Well, a vacationing family found you and you were sent to the hospital. You're not the only one with these stories, so I've been sent to get these testimonies. But you're luckier than most. I'd say half of the others are catatonic. A few cases got into the headlines and threw the whole East Coast into a panic.
That's good.
Good, huh? That's a funny way of putting it. You really believe this stuff, don't you? You think you're a container of this Crescent King?
There's a new planet in the sky, but nobody sees it except for me. It can't even be photographed. The planet has a special frequency that only I can hear. At night, it's so strong that it shakes the walls. I soon realized that it was sending messages through the vibrations, trembling the ink into an alphabet. A series of letters that made no sense until today.
July 25th, 2018. The phone rang over 100 times tonight, yet they haven't used the same number twice. It looks like they're using telephones from around the world, mostly from Mesopotamia. But there are no phones in Mesopotamia. There is no Mesopotamia. I'm not insane. I am not a lunatic. It told me its name is Lamashtu. It told me to watch for the trees. It told me its name is Lamashtu. It told me to watch for the trees. It told me to watch for the trees.
Lamashtu.
July 25th, 2018. The phone rang over 100 times tonight, yet they haven't used the same number twice. It looks like they're using telephones from around the world, mostly from Mesopotamia. But there are no phones in Mesopotamia. There is no Mesopotamia. I'm not insane. I am not a lunatic. It told me its name is Lamashtu. It told me.
Bored of self-isolation? Do you want to meet your friends again? Are you worried about the future of the world? Hi, I'm Curious Hat, and I'm here for you. If you said yes to any of my questions, don't worry. In this lesson, I'll teach you how to be happy. Please stay still and remain calm. All you need to know is one thing. Every day is a rainy day. When it rains, everyone stays inside. Storms always pass and we'll be outside with the rainbows in no time. It's not the end of the world. Treat every day like a rainy day and you'll be A-okay. Envelope time! This week I've received 3 envelopes from fans. Let's see what they've sent me. Oh hey, a videotape. Show, we'll be sending a seashell to all our viewers. We know you miss the ocean, but by tomorrow, you'll be able to listen to the waves every night. I'm Curious Hat, and as always, stay curious.
Everyone has their favorite spoon. From the texture of the metal to the decoration, there are factors that make some spoons stand out from the rest. I like one spoon in particular. It's flexible due to its cheap steel. Every morning for several years, I've eaten cereal with my favorite spoon. The flexibility allows me to flatten the bowl of the spoon and scoop more flakes than usual. But things have changed recently. This week, I haven't taken a single bite, and yet, every scoop has led to less and less cereal. It's as though my breakfast drains away when it comes in contact with my spoon. One morning, I reached for my spoon and it suddenly bit me. A closer examination revealed that my spoon had a face, a fierce expression with eyes and a mouth filled with teeth. And just as I was beginning to believe that I was in some half-lucid dream, the spoon said, "Feed me. The spoon is starving." I placed the spoon in my bowl and it quickly consumed everything, milk, cereal, and all. The spoon's expression calmed into a smug grimace. I was furious. Day after day, my favorite spoon ate my cereal. After 6 boxes, there was no more, and the spoon displayed an extremely aggressive expression. Just as I attempted to put the spoon back into the utensils drawer, it twisted around my hand and tightened, causing tremendous pain, so excruciating that I was brought to my knees, and my favorite spoon exclaimed, "Drive me, the spoon is starving." I drove to the grocery store to purchase more cereal. As I steered the wheel, the spoon was tight on my hand. I could feel pins and needles throughout the entire drive as the blood drained. Once I arrived in the cereal aisle, the spoon loosened its grip and continued to loosen as I filled my shopping cart with cereal boxes and gallons of milk. At the cash register, the cashier mistook the spoon around my hand as jewelry and asked where I bought it. I could not offer an explanation. My favorite spoon ate non-stop that day. As it feasted, I devised a plan. By trapping the spoon in the oven, the heat would possibly melt it and end its binging. Without a second thought, I opened the oven and grabbed the spoon, tossing it in before shutting the door. Once I set the highest setting, I stood in the backyard and waited. My house was eventually on fire. I was thrilled at the idea that I had killed the spoon. However, the spoon suddenly jumped from the wreckage and wrapped itself around my hand, and I fainted from the burning pain. The last words I ever heard were, "Feed me. The spoon is starving."
Grandpa always liked swords. He used to take us to the market every day, buying every blade he saw. He'd make us carry them to the car, and our hands would always get sore. Once, a sword slipped from my hands and clipped 3 of my sister's fingers off. We all had a good laugh, and Grandpa chuckled all the way home. Late at night, we could hear Grandpa sharpening his swords in the backyard. Every now and then, a raccoon would get too close to Grandpa, and he would slice them in half. Oh, how youthful Grandpa was. One time, Grandpa heard us past our bedtime, so he came to our door and waited. When we fell asleep again, he would lay a newly sharpened sword next to us in bed. I never move in my sleep, so I wouldn't notice until I woke up that such a sharp sword was next to me. But my sister liked to roll in her sleep, so she never woke up the next morning. Grandpa was a very funny man. After then, I had to carry all the swords he bought from the market. It was okay for the first few days. I felt strong, and I wanted to make Grandpa proud of me. But every day, my body got more and more sore. I couldn't stand hearing Grandpa sharpen his swords at night. So this afternoon at the market, I grabbed the nearest sword and chopped Grandpa in half.
My name's Milo and I love going outside. People could tell from an early age since I'd always sit by the door waiting for it to open. Once it did, I'd have the biggest smile on my face and I'd run around, dance, lay in the grass, bathe in the warm sunlight. I like to live in the moment, something none of my friends really understand. But it's such a simple thing and I don't think I could be any happier. My favorite things to do outside include games of tag, hide and seek, but most of all, bicycling. I feel so free on a bicycle, like nothing can stop me. It's just me and my bike going places together. It's all so perfect, the trees, the wind, the birds, even the sound of my bicycle chain makes me happy. I love going outside.
vivid nightmare.
My therapist told me to go outside more often, and I did. The first afternoon I left the house, the sky was soft and golden, but I didn't feel anything. It meant nothing to me. Every color, every scent and emotion was dulled, a fraction of what being alive once meant to me. Disassociated, losing touch, no control. I drove around town more often, hoping that my enthusiasm would resurface. I used to love the blue evening skies. They felt like parents, and any time I looked up, they would comfort me. But there was no comfort. I felt nothing. I tried to smile more frequently, but it felt so uncomfortable. I became an empty fossil, a broken shell, disassociated, losing touch, no control. I became obsessed with my body. Every mistake, every discoloring, every scar. I felt like an exhibition full of deformities and medical conditions. Some days, I felt as though everyone were watching me. I was universally hated, disassociated, losing touch, no control. I went outside again. Pain throbbed in my head. I needed release, so I tore apart the brightest flower in the field. A flower's entire life, millions of years of evolution, all leading to this one being wasted. It felt good to destroy something pretty, to make something as worthless as I was. Disassociated, losing touch, maniac. Everything seemed happier than I was. Where did everyone get their smiles? Then I found the ant on my shirt. She moved strangely, frantically waving her limbs. I watched her closely, and I realized she was dying. I felt a great weight on my shoulders. I was about to be a part of this ant's last moments on Earth. I had suddenly become very important, so I began softly singing to the ant. She was in so much pain. I sang until she stopped moving, and I cried. She made me important again, and for the first time in months, I smiled. Disassociated, losing touch, happy.
That's Chase, the wandering robot. She was created last year as a special effect for a summer blockbuster. At some point during production, the producers wanted Chase to exhibit free will for an improvised scene, so Chase's creators reluctantly enabled her artificial intelligence. That's when she left the studio and began her excursion south. Nobody knows where or when she'll stop. Her creators claim to have no power over her. Towns on her predicted trajectory celebrate her arrival, cheering Chase on as she passes by. I've been tasked by the Department of Defense to organize a video that'll convince Chase to return to the studio. The finished video will eventually be uploaded to her mind and played on an infinite loop. I know it won't work. She's already adding stars to our sky.
Every summer you've delighted millions of moviegoers. Your movies are critically acclaimed and the highest grossing of all time. The audience misses you. They want you back. We want you back. Please come home and let's finish the film together. We'll listen to you and meet your needs. If you'd like, we can even transfer you into a human body after production, so you can better fit among your friends. And don't worry, it's a fast process. Once it starts, you'll wake up in your new body in less than 24 hours, just in time for the sunrise. Come back home, Chase. Everyone misses you.
Do not listen to your captors. Proceed to America.
The animated host of all space-related live feeds. I deliver updates straight from the control room. We've received many emails with questions regarding today's event, so I'll be answering those throughout the broadcast. For those just tuning in, you're watching live footage of a black hole. This one's named Cronus, after the Greek god of time. The orange speck of light in the middle of your screen is the superheated material surrounding Cronus, also known as the accretion disk. The actual black hole is featureless to the naked eye, as it pulls in all light that's crossed its event horizon. In fact, the light from the accretion disk is over 18 years old, meaning that these images on your screen have already happened. It's just taken the light almost 2 decades to reach your cameras. By the time this broadcast has reached you, the actual cameras have likely stopped recording since the astronauts are over 25 light years from home. Black holes are created when nuclear reactions within massive stars stop and the pressure drops drastically, resulting in the star collapsing on itself and acquiring a gravitational pull so strong that not even light can escape. No, it simply does not have enough mass to collapse. As our sun ages, it will grow into a red giant. Its outer layers will slowly shed off into space, forming a nebula. At the very end, our sun will be a cold, white dwarf star. Yes, over time, black holes release radiation, which to a certain point will render the entire structure unstable, as they will eventually be expelling more material than they are gaining. However, because black holes by nature absorb many objects with their gravitational pull, this input prolongs their lives by many, many years. Let's take a look.
Many dimensions intersect with our own, several of which are 2D planes. When two or more planes intersect, they form corners. Entities in the intersecting planes cannot perceive each other. They exist separately, in their own worlds. However, the Cornerfolk can pass these boundaries and enter other planes. The Cornerfolk are a trans-dimensional species. They are the only ones who can traverse the corners shaped by planes. Coincidentally, I believe that the corners of my own home align with several planes, for I have seen the Cornerfolk in action, crossing the corners from one reality to another. This leap requires massive amounts of energy that, when released, produces bright blue flashes. I have yet to discover the source of this energy, and the reason behind the Cornerfolk crossings remains unknown. While I was at work, my cameras captured up to 12 Cornerfolk huddling in the doorway. I used to think that they had to cross dimensions quickly, but the new footage has proven otherwise. When I'm not around, they take a break from traveling and exhibit micro-movements similar to dreaming animals. They must feel safe in these corners, which suggests that the Cornerfolk's own home is made of similar structures. I imagine that their corner world is made of many plane intersections, allowing them to move freely without using up any energy. My photographs show that smaller Cornerfolk have odd impressions on their skin, as though they had been pressed against many plane intersections at once. The corners likely belong to a nursery or a crib in their homeworld. A multitude of corners placed in close proximity could be used to secure the infant from leaving the corner world. Perhaps they only cross corners in search of food, the same way we only leave our homes for resources. The corner world may be used to raise young, while my own house's corners serve as rest stops of sorts during their journeys. I've begun to dream of the corner world. I can't stop thinking about it. According to the calendar, I've spent entire weeks in my home, just drawing and describing the corner world on paper. I lost my job last month due to repeated absences, but it really does feel like I just left the office this afternoon. When the Cornerfolk jump, it feels as though they're taunting me. But I'm close to a solution. Regardless of whether my body survives the forces of the corner world or not, this much is certain. The fear of my own destruction will not prevent my entry.
Now let's learn about the sides and corners of different shapes. A side or an edge is is a line segment that joins two adjacent corners of a shape. A corner or vertex is the point where the two sides meet. Let's look at this triangle. It has three sides. 1, 2, 3. It also has three corners. 1, 2, 3.
Do it again. Okay, I don't believe you. I don't believe you for a second. Huh? What? What is it?
No. You know what it is.
Why? What is it?
Do you want to come through here?
Why? Is there someone outside?
No, so I might be seeing things, but I'm not sure exactly what's going on in this car.
What? Where am I looking at?
Next to the rearview window. Rearview mirror.
Island era orribile. L'intero posto puzzava di carne, come un mattatoio. C'erano anche uccelli morti ovunque e mia sorella ne trovò persino uno nel gabinetto. Se già la costa è così, diceva mio padre, immaginate quanto puzzeranno le città. Ricordo di aver sentito altre famiglie dire quasi scherzosamente che volessero tornare a Milano per via dell'odore. La mia famiglia aveva spruzzato profumo e acceso candele per tenere lontano il fetore, ma funzionava solo per un'ora o giù di lì, finché l'aria diventava di nuovo insopportabile. Le serate erano così calde, rimasi per lo più sveglia, anche se il resto della mia famiglia dormiva profondamente. Ricordo che guardavo fuori dalla finestra ogni notte e vedevo file di persone che venivano condotte alla Statua della Libertà dai funzionari. Se solo fossero saliti sul piedistallo, i funzionari se ne sarebbero andati e non sarebbe successo nient'altro. La mattina seguente però ci sarebbe stato un odore peggiore, come un mattatoio.
Wow.